Whew. I think we are live. Wow. Let me take off the headphones so I don't feel and sound too weird. What is good, people? We are back after a little break and we are on the live stream. So it's Monday, Tech and Chill Show Unplugged. Yes. Still not back in the usual studio, but we are still on a working vacation in Canada. So hopefully everything is coming through nice, and wow, people are just not missing already when it comes to the chat, which is always nice to see. Jimmy Fire Dragon, what is up? What is up? What is good? Hope you're well. And I hope everyone is doing well and staying hydrated. And then you got the bro technically T, man, bro. I don't know what to say when it comes to you, man. I don't know what to say when it comes to you, man. But all I'm saying is, if you're streaming today, bro, let's get it. If you're streaming today, I'm gonna be on it because I'm pretty much within a time zone that is favorable to you. So that should be good. That should definitely help, man. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Thank you for the $20 super chat, man. I appreciate you jumping onto the stream as per usual. And we're gonna pretty much be discussing, oh my goodness, getting the temperature right. Man, if I get the cloth out. Ooh, sweating like a PIG. We're gonna be discussing WWDC roundup. Hopefully the sound sounds okay. So let me know if there's any issues with the audio. Hopefully there isn't any issues with the audio, but yes, T, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I appreciate you, bro. And we are going to be discussing all things WWDC. Should be fun. Hey, what is good? Jimmy Fire Dragon as per usual. Marvin Wallace, Northwest London in the building. Oh, what's good, man? NW. Sup. Glad to be back. Yes, I am glad to be back. It's good to be back broadcasting and doing the Tech and Chill show. Out of the studio, but we're building. I'm pretty much going to be setting up shop here in Canada as well, by the looks of it, more regularly. We're going to talk about it more. Regina, hello, hi. Ben, a lot of sweat or bags under your eyes. I'm still getting used to the time difference. I'm still adjusting. It's been a busy week. Yes, Kingdom Within, greetings, LOT. Greetings to you too. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing great. Wow. So everyone has pretty much joined the Tech and Chill show for the Monday. Share it out. Let people know that we are live and streaming. I'm going to pretty much broadcast it and let people know on Twitter. And it should be good. Saying we are live. It should be a very, very, very interesting one. It should be a very interesting one. Okay, well, it's the chat, so I'm not losing track of you all. New to the Onwards, NI in the building as usual, as always. As always, we always got to stay where we are. All we're missing is a good Portland, Jamaica in the building, right? People will get that joke. So yes, hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone is doing great. Let me know if the audio and the sound is coming through clearly. We should still be streaming in 4K UHD. Everything's powered off the MacBook Pro 14, and we're gonna talk all things MacBook Pro as well. And we're going to talk all things MacBook when it comes to M2, the state of M2, and kind of just recap what we've been talking about when it comes to this week. So it should be very interesting. WWDC, dubbed up, happened exactly last week, a week ago. Yes, it happened last week, Monday, and it was a very interesting event. It was about 2 hours long. I'll share my little thoughts on the event. Again, it's pre-recorded, and we all know Apple just go over the top when it comes to pre-recorded production. They've set the lead on that, but I think I do wish it was an in-person event where it was kind of like live. I rate Google more this time that they didn't go pre-recorded for Google I/O and actually did it live on stage in an event. It just felt more refreshing. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I kind of missed the organicness of a live stage presentation, um, even though it does look less fancy. But what is good is that we did kind of get like the old school kind of a hands-on the show floor events campus style, because a lot of people were at Apple Park, and it's good that at least they broke the mode, because that wasn't going to be the case before, from what I remember. Um, yeah, that wasn't going to be the case from what I remember, but it's good that there were people that came in the event. Now we had a lot of different things. Yes, shout out to Team DIY, Stop Mike, evening from London. Oh, you've moved now. Okay. When I'm back next week, then we can catch up for sure. For sure, that would be great. Congrats on the move, Mike. Congrats on the move. Congrats on the move. Yes, we've got everything here, everyone here, as we love to see it. Um, yes, I do wish the event was in person. Me personally speaking for myself, it's just one of those things. It's not the end of the world. It was a good event, and it was a good event. It was a good event, but I don't know. I personally wish the event was kind of live and in person, and I hope they try and move away from pre-recorded events. And I know people are going to disagree with it, because Apple, like, look at what they were doing with Craig Federici running in slow motion, and you know, Soul Glow, as would call it, and coming to America. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It was a good event. It was a good event. But we're gonna talk about the main stuff. We're going to talk M2. We will talk M2, because you know me, I much prefer hardware over software. Not that software is not important, but we will talk about software with iOS 16 as well. Um, and just the other things around. But I don't know if we'll be able to squeeze it all within the 1 hour, but it's going to be interesting. And we're going to recap, some of the videos that I've done already throughout the week in regards to it, which have responded so well, which I really appreciate. Yes, we got Siren in the house. Same. Hoping the iPhone event is in person. If yeah, it just we just need to start getting back to that now, right? The whole pre-recorded stuff is great. Don't get me wrong. It's just, I don't know. Call me a bit old school. Call me a bit old school. Call me a bit old school. Um, in the Tim cutscenes, yes, the Tim cutscenes as well. But it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one, and we will talk all things related to that. Let's go into studio mode and discuss. So we're gonna discuss some stuff in regards to it. If I switch over here and we have a look at what we've done, um, funny enough, I did my MacBook Pro unboxing again. As you can see that I've got my first Mac. It's the MacBook Pro 14-inch base model. That's what I'm using at the moment. It's been very, very refreshing, and it's really it's it's changed how I need to calibrate how I do work on the go, and it's been such a difference maker. Even now, it being able to stream, this is one thing I wasn't expecting it to be able to do so well. Being able to stream 4K UHD via OBS so stably, and it's silent. It's silent. It's just not making any noise. It's a very strange experience. It's a very, very strange experience in a good way. After the unboxing, it didn't do as good as I was expecting the video to do. It happens. It's just YouTube. But then, obviously the event happened. I was actually away with family, came back, had to settle in, do a couple of videos for Sam Mobile, as well as do videos for myself and set it up. And I kind of had time to absorb it in. And I said the M2 MacBook Air was a trap. And, over the past few days, the response on that video has been really, really good. We've got another video I went live today with the treadmill for Mobboy. Don't expect that video to do that well straight away, but should be evergreen over time. Very much like the fold in bed video. Look at that fold in bed video. It's 1.1k views. Strange, right? For a fold in bed video on a tech channel. So I'm hoping the Mobboy video would be of the same kind of, behavior. But I said the M2 MacBook Air was a trap. And my overall general consensus of the M2 MacBook Air is more just down to the fact that it only to me makes sense as a base model. And it's just mainly down for the fact that the situation that we're in right now with chip shortages or chip demands or this brick wall that we've kind of hit with the 5 to 4 nanometer fabrication process, it's kind of left this to be a stopgap device when it comes to the chipset. Now, I personally think that it is a stopgap device. It's stopgap in the sense that, how can I put it? It's stopgap because really it should have been called the M1X. I think this would have been a perfect opportunity to call it the M1X and build an M1X Pro, M1X Max, or M1X Ultra, or M1X Extreme as they go up. I don't really see this as an M2. I feel like this M2 is a stopgap and it's a bit premature to be calling it an M2. I guess they're going to call the next one an M3. It's just the fact that it's still on a 5 nanometer process, and looking deeper at it, it isn't really the improvement that we're looking for. I think the biggest improvement is to the media engine. I think the biggest improvement to the media engine being able to support, faster ProRes decoding and encoding, 8K H.264 and 265, encoding all the way up to 4210-bit. I think the media engine is the star of the show. Everything else, I think, is kind of blasé. Personally, I think it's kind of blasé, and it is more to be treated as a stopgap device than anything else, in my personal opinion. Personally, I don't know if anyone else agrees with it, but that's the general consensus of it. And it's a weird situation where now the 13-inch MacBook Pro with the M2 almost makes no sense, but yet it is the one that's going to give you the best performance of the M2 because of the fan and sustained performance. Whether people think it's going to be a difference maker or not, I don't know. We'll really have to see. Let me jump back into the comments. Oh, those cutscenes were tremendous as per usual. I mean, it is Apple after all, hence why their budget is very big. No, it's fine. I'm not saying the pre-recorded events are not. And again, please do let me know if the video and audio are in sync and working fine. It should be. We are streaming in 4K UHD, so you got the bandwidth, select 1080p, 1440p, all the way up to 2160p. Let me know how the microphone sounds. I've put the background suppression. You might hear a bit of echo because this room is a lot bigger and not sound treated yet, even though we do have thicker carpets. But we're going to run through it. We're going to chill for an hour and have some fun with it. Thanks, Ben. Catch up soon. No doubt, Mike. No doubt we shall. Are you still using a MacBook? I remember your video on switching. Okay, I wasn't. Okay. I was switching from Windows laptops to MacBooks. That's very. I'm not switching from Windows to Mac OS as such. As Windows laptops, as a content creator on the go, where I'm traveling. This year, I'm going to be traveling. I would have traveled 6 times in total this year. When I go, I got to come back. I got some client work to do here in July. Then I got to go prepare for IFA. Go potentially be in Dubai. Go the next year Vegas. So yeah, I'm still using it, man. It is my dedicated workstation computer when I'm on the go and I'm not at home. I get you, Ben. Some of us are sick of the no in-person events because of the pandemic. Yes, that's it. That is literally all. 30k subscribers soon, hopefully. Need to find a way to really put my foot on the pedal, but this was one of the things I did say this year, that I would be making less videos, just not because I'm just going to be traveling more. I'm going to be out more. There's going to be so many other things I'm going to be doing. So It's just one of those things. But let's hope. Just hit the 3K mark. Yes, indeed. Yay, Mike 702. WTF, what is going on, bro? Miss you, mofo. Miss you too, man. Miss you too, man. You need to get yourself over here. Well, actually, here. I'm specifically at the moment in Canada, so bear with me when it comes to that one. Bear with me when it comes to that one. But yeah, Vegas, we're gonna meet again, Mike. We're gonna meet again, Mike, for sure. And loving the stand-up stuff that you're doing, man. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Really good stuff. I keep up with it. Takes a lot of confidence to be on stage and doing something like that, man. I like what you're doing. I like what you're doing, bro. I like what you're doing. We'll touch base and we'll catch up. Um, that video, obviously, that video that I did was all based around the consensus of being a UK buyer of the M2 MacBook Air. And it seems like it resonates across. I will probably say some few things that I would probably take back and say that work with external storage, 256 gigabytes is a bit annoying when it comes to working with an operating system, especially when you're installing apps. But external storage is something that you can add more. You can't add things like external RAM. So I guess if beyond the base model where it makes the most sense for the M2 MacBook Air, getting as much RAM as possible is what's going to help. 16 gigs or 24 gigabytes, that's what's going to make a difference in terms of long run. Now, 24 gigabytes, you know what? Let's open up the web browser and let's go to apple.com. And we're going to switch to the scene transition. And then we are going to keep it to UK for the moment, right? And we're going to view pricing. And this is literally just where it's a trap in a sense, right? If you go for the base model, in terms of the base model here, right? You select it. You're trying to save as much money as possible. If we go all the way up to 24 gigabytes, fast charger. Oh, actually, 24 gigabytes. Yep. This is probably the absolute most that will make sense. And because at least you can work with external storage, right? This is the upper limit of what this laptop configuration will make sense when it comes to actually getting the M2 Air, my personal opinion. No more than 24 gigabytes, 256 gigabytes of storage. Remember, this display is not ProMotion. You're not getting adaptive 120 hertz. You are not getting the mini LED tech that can do 1,000 nits or up to 1,600 nits for HDR. You do get the 1080p camera that was on there. You only get 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports, which are USB 4 compliant on the left side only, not one on each side. And obviously, you do get the return of MagSafe, which is nice. MagSafe is nice, but personally, I would give up MagSafe for one USB-A port any day, anytime, just putting it out there. And obviously, this is the Air with the M2 chip available next month. This is a nice laptop. There's no getting around it. It's a really nice laptop. But I shared my opinions on it, basically saying that I do wish, although as thin as it is, that they did manage to keep the wedge design. I don't know what you guys think about that. But I do wish that they did keep the wedge design. That's just me personally. But this is literally a slimmer, miniaturized version of the already 14-inch with the notch. Again, I don't really like the notch. I still get a lot of programs that I use that hide behind the notch, which is quite annoying and quite frustrating personally. But it is one of those ones. It's definitely not for me, because I feel like for me to get the best out of it, this is how I would spec it. Now, again, I'm a very rare occasion. My boy TC and my guy Brandon, they managed to help me get my base model 14-inch. And again, my base model 14-inch is one that it's one that is really, really good for what it is. Even at the MSRP of $18.99, for what you get, it's phenomenal. But you see, when you go to places like Amazon, you can get it for £1,763 tops, brand new. But I managed to get mine for £1,385, less than £1,400. And from then, it's a no-brainer, right? But even if you look at the rare exception like me, for example, being able to get it from places like Amazon for a good amount under £1,800, for what you're getting with, three Thunderbolt 4 ports, a full size HDMI, although 2.0 only, a full size SD card slot. You've got another USB C on the right hand side. Obviously, you still get MagSafe. The display is just that much better with the 120 hertz, as well as the much brighter panel as well, which comes in so clutch and it's been so useful for me having it on the go, going around with it. The Air doesn't make sense unless it's a base model. But if I'm going to use it as a main computer and you want silent operation with the possibility of throttling with it, then just upgrade the RAM, skim the storage, do external, and just kind of tamper your expectations there. All this is really done is kind of made the M1 just seem that much more valuable, especially the M1 Air. Yes, it's an older design and the screen is definitely not as good, but it's just added more value to it. I'm surprised it hasn't gone down in price. They're really holding their own because it looks like they still feel like they're in a class of their own when it comes to that. But it's an interesting one. It's definitely an interesting one. Um, my thoughts, those I would say probably those are the only thoughts and opinions that have changed at the moment when it comes to just what I think. Because initially, I know that Apple's smart memory switching system, the swap memory, was very good in terms of managing minimal RAM into system SSD storage and back into RAM again. But I would say having actual more usable RAM and then being able to add external storage is probably going to be much more manageable. But yeah. So Saren says that agreed. The wedge is what made the Air unique. Now it feels like a MacBook Pro Lite. I don't think you could have said it any better, bro. I don't think you could have said it any better. And this is just my thoughts on it. It's not that this is not to say it's a bad product or they made a wrong decision, but there is just something about Apple iconically owning that design and that design being distinctive to them. This is not to say there haven't been Windows laptops that have come out with wedge designs, but they just haven't done it the way Apple have done it. Um, I mean, it's still an Air product, right? There's no fan in there. It's super thin and light. It's probably got a great keyboard. Again, for if it's anything like this 14-inch that I'm personally using right now, this is the only laptop that I've used where from the get-go I was instantly comfortable and confident with the typing experience on the keyboard. It is, I will dub this. I'm hoping I can get a sponsor for the impressions video that I'm going to do on this, but I am hoping to do that. And I'm near enough confident to say this is the best keyboard on a laptop that I've used out of the gate. And mind you, I've been testing Windows laptops for a good amount of while, right? So it takes a lot for me to say this, but yeah, it's really good. Yo, Saren, yes. Hello, this laptop is for people who don't want to spend more on the Pro and want to have a notch. Hey, Mike, Air 16 gigs is the same like Pro 16 gigs. I would buy yeah, it just makes the M1 MacBook Air just seem that much more, just that much better for value. It just seems like it's just that much better for value. So we'll take it's almost a hard recommend unless again you want the newer design and unless again you are more than okay with you're more than okay with just the pricing structure of it, I guess, and obviously the different colors, the midnight starlight and stuff that comes with it. It's a great laptop. I wouldn't be upset with it, but it just right now in the Mac lineup, in my personal opinion, these are the two best value Macs that you can buy right now. The base model Mac Studio for 2000 and then the base model 14-inch for 1899. you can get it cheaper, especially the 14-inch. But those are the two best, in my personal value, in my personal opinion, the best two value Macs you can get right now. And those ones I would literally just, recommend them in a heartbeat. Let's move over to one that doesn't, it just almost doesn't make sense, right? It almost doesn't make sense. And when I say almost, it almost doesn't make sense. MacBook Pro, right? We've got the M2 powered MacBook Pro. If we view pricing and we go to, this is the Pro lineup where it's 13, 14, 16. Hey, maybe 15 is missing, but there is rumors on that. So here we are. If we go for the base model, we can see that the base model of this is literally £100 more than the base model of the Air. But one thing I have noticed is that the base model of the M2 here has an extra 2 cores on the GPU. Instead of the 8-core GPU, it's a 10-core GPU, and it's got 8 gigabytes of RAM. So already the extra £100 is going towards it. Now, for modern nostalgic reasons, this still has a touch bar. I can't say anything against touch bar. Never used a touch bar, but the touch bar was synonymous for being quite unreliable in a lot of different situations. Now, here's where things of it just almost makes no sense, but yet could potentially make sense based on performance. Now, again, we'll go with the same principle. We'll go for 24 gigs of RAM. It's £100 more that you're paying. There is no option of the charger, so you get the fast charger out of the box at 67 watts with no MagSafe, but only via USB-C. Just consider that. Meaning that with the 2 ports that you do, once you use one for charging, you are kind of limited, which again, it's quite unfortunate, because this is the same old chassis that we've come to know since 2016. So this becomes like a very, very odd refresh for this particular model. Finally, it doesn't have a notch, so if that bothers you, definitely that's probably the one to go for. But this is the one that's going to give you the best performance of the M2, and this is at the minute the best one for the M2. And again, I maybe people might disagree, but my prerogative is this: the M2 makes a lot more sense if you want to take advantage of the new media engine. If you want to take advantage of the new media engine, then it almost feels like for sustained long, I don't know, if you're someone that owns a Sony A1, a Canon R5C, R5, the 8K cameras that have HEVC and 42 10-bit and 40 10-bit, this is the only media engine that can take care of it as a stopgap with the M2 until the M2 Pro, until the M2 Max, and until the M2 Ultra come out in, in their configurations, which we'll basically have to see how that looks like in terms of price and performance. But I'm gonna make a separate video on this, but this makes almost no sense. This almost makes no sense, but at the same time, it might do if you really want to take care of that media engine and long sustained performance. So yeah, this is an odd stepchild kind of situation. Where are we now? So do we have anything on WWDC? That's fine. Let me come back here and let me transition, and we'll come back into studio, and it says the price of the M2 Air is more expensive than it. Yeah, it is more expensive. Let's transition, and then oof. So obviously UK pricing for the new M2 Air, as you can see, is base model £1,249, and we go with the M1, that is £999. So it's a £250 difference. It's a £250 difference. So just consider that. Just consider that. And then obviously, if you want the same base model as the Pro, you upgrade to this. Change it here. Yeah, it's the same. It is the same. If we go for the 10 core. Very interesting. £100 more for the 10 core GPU. But thank you for the response on this video. Really, really appreciate it. It looks like the timing on it was perfect. Go watch today's video on the Mob Boy home treadmill review. Long overdue. Shout out to Josh for helping me edit that video. He's got credit in the description. All right. We're just going to clear this up. This MacBook is holding up pretty well when it comes to live streaming. So let's look at WWDC 2022 in 24 minutes. And we're going to talk about iOS 16. Finally, we have a new iOS that's meant to be coming out. And again, shout out to guys like The Verge for doing great recaps. Used a lot of their footage and clips in there. We've got iOS, and it's quite an interesting one. It's quite an interesting one because iOS 16, so everything is based on these lock screens. And I think out of the box, if you're looking at the out of the box experience, this looks to be one of the most customizable home screens out of all the OSs. And again, that's not just speaking Android, but all the other Android manufacturers that have their skins and whatnot on top. But does it mean we're going to be getting an always on display feature finally come the iPhone 14, or is it something that we're going to? Because I don't see all this effort going in if we're not finally going to get an always on display. That's just me personally. I don't want to dump on Apple in any way, but you know, are we finally going to get an always on display? Is that definitely going to be on the cards? I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below if that's something that's coming on your mind. But it seems like an awful lot of effort not to. It seems like an awful amount of effort not to. It looks great. This is a good look from what we're seeing here. But I just feel like there's a lot of effort not to, right? And I love this. I love the continuous live notifications on certain things rather than multiple. It's a good amount of effort. There's no ifs or buts. Focus modes. Again, we didn't get no true multitasking again, but I do like how they've added like a back layer kind of depth look, how you can link focus modes and different do not disturb modes with different wallpapers, with focus filters like what you're seeing right now. It's a good round-up polish. What it tells us for the iPhone 14, I just hope that we do get an always on display finally, because this is a lot of effort on the lock screen before you actually get into the phone in terms of interacting with it, which is also very important in that sense. But I want to see an always on display finally, Apple. Please, you've got the display technology. LTPO is well within its grasp. You're going to get the second generation one that goes below 10 hertz, all the way down to 1 hertz, all the way to 120 hertz. It's going to be a very interesting one for sure. It's going to be a very interesting one for sure. But yeah, a decent amount said on iOS 16. Now, what was interesting was messages. So there seems to be a lot with iMessage now, right? Again, no official RCS support, but what you are able to do, as you're seeing up here, is you can unsend messages, you can delete messages, you can edit messages. And one of the key things that I was seeing here that was actually very interesting is being able to cut PNG background cutout images to send through messages and whatnot. So yeah, iMessage got like it's going to be interesting how they manage that. Is it going to be very similar to how WhatsApp tells you if it's been deleted, if you edit it, if it's going to put like an edited mark on there where you can maybe after like a day or so see the previous message that was before edited. I don't know how this is going to be handled here. I do have an iPhone 13 here, but this is a loaner device, so I'm not going to be putting beta software on there to be causing any headache and issues for myself. But yes, this is also another thing that we were seeing. Again, Apple Pay Later. Okay, this People were saying that Apple have effectively created debt. For equal payments, apparently over 6 weeks, zero interest, no fees, Apple Pay that works. And it works everywhere Apple Pay is accepted. You see all the try. It's interesting. It's interesting. Amazon UK have a very similar thing where you can pay stuff over like 5-4 months or so. Which is coming handy when I'm getting certain gear and I don't really want to put all the money down. Um, Similar thing, I guess. Similar thing. They've done updates to maps. iOS 16 was a decent chunk. iOS 16 was a decent chunk. iOS 16 was a decent chunk, and yeah, they did a decent amount. They did a decent amount. What? Okay, I'm gonna skip to iPad OS 16, and I have to give a big shout out to my guy Courtney, filmed by Fresh. He did a let me filmed by Fresh. I like to plug my people when I can. Filmed by Fresh. There he is. Did an excellent video. So definitely, I highly recommend you go watch him. I'm gonna pin the comment for the video into the chat. Definitely recommend you go watch it. He did a fantastic video. So shout out to my man Fresh. Where the iPad Pro Beam Pro finally, there is some new features that have been put on the iPad Pro based on Stage Manager, having full external display support, without the black bars. But I think that only works if you, so far from what I've seen, if you've got a keyboard attached to it or keyboard case attached to it, as well as having a keyboard case or keyboard attached to it. It is limited to the M1. Anything that's M1 powered, the M1 Pro of the iPad Pro, and also the M1 powered iPad Air 5, which is going to be very interesting. Got to step out for now. Have a good night, bro. Thanks for the stream and discussion, man. Appreciate you, Mike. Have a good night. Enjoy. Are you not posting articles on Sam? Are you not posting articles on Sam Mobile anymore? Or at least recently, I've posted videos on Sam Mobile. We did a podcast and a video last week. Yep, we are having an always on display. I very much damn well hope so. DK2D. Do you agree iPhone 20 Pro should have optical zoom? Yep. Optical zoom 5x no less is very useful. Like the Note 20 Ultra and 10x S22 Ultra would be great. I saw it was on display last week in Oxford in the train on an iPhone. Unless it was a jailbroken iPhone. Interesting. Onset is a good option for men who send messages to the wrong women. You're crazy, man. Which phone or smartwatch? Yeah, smartwatch maybe, just not iPhone. We might be looking at two different things there. But definitely go check out my guy Courtney's video. Did a great video on the iPad Pro Beam Pro finally, thanks to iOS 16, with iPad OS 16. It's an interesting place. And again, I think my overall summary of iOS 16 now, especially with iPad OS 16, is that this whole notion that they're going to make the iPad more MacBook in terms of, supporting apps like Final Cut, let's go over it. It's not going to happen now. People. Even with them giving you the same benefits of the M1 up to 16 gigabytes of RAM, like what you get with the MacBook Air, same architecture. Let's just not accept that it's gonna happen. But it's interesting what they're doing to push it. It's interesting to see what they're doing to push it. When it comes out the beta stage, I definitely want to see what people's thoughts and opinion and experiences are. I more look towards, the experience that you would have with it, with things like, broadcasting and streamings, IO, in terms of obviously connectivity, which peripherals and stuff, yes, which you can use adapters, but those are the type of limiting factors I look at when it comes to it being a desktop replacement in any way, shape, or form. it isn't a bad thing. It's just one of those things to consider, really. But WWDC, it sets the stage in a very different way. It does set the stage in a very different way, and it was a good event. It was a good event. Why photos are duplicated when I send photos from one Apple device to another? Should I turn off iCloud or something? I'm actually not too sure. Why would your photos be duplicated when I send photos from one Apple device to another? I've never seen that before. I might be wrong. Anyone else that's a main iPhone user, let me know, but I'm not too sure. I think Stream has been nice and stable, which is really, really good. Really much appreciate. I hope you are all doing well during this time. Staying safe as well. And it might end up being a short stream, but I will be doing like a video on my thoughts and opinions on the 13-inch MacBook Pro and seeing how that's like. Um, the M2 Air, the M2 MacBook Air is a good device. I really want to see the performance on it. I don't think the performance increase is going to be warranted, it being an M2 chip. But I feel like Apple recently has been trying to move away from the half-step naming conventions. Like, have you noticed since the iPhone 11, we didn't get the 11s, we didn't get the 12s, one the 13. It's literally 11, 12, 13, 14. I think Apple want to move away from the half-step naming systems that they had in the past, like the A12X and stuff like that, rather than calling it the M1X, which this, especially it being a second generation 5 nanometer fabrication process, this does definitely feel more like an X generation stopgap. I think that M2 should have been deserving of a 3 nanometer chip. Yes, we understand that TSMC's fabrication process at the minute, because of how things are happening that side of the world with lockdowns, chip shortages, high demands, and just getting a 3 nanometer process into like a good space for production. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. But I think minus the media engine, just manage your expectations when it comes to the performance increase that we're expecting in no less than, it's a year and a half, just over a year and a half, because obviously the original M1 was November 2020, from what I remember. Just over a year and a half. Just over a year and a half. It's not been a full 2 years. And my biggest thing that I'm really looking at in terms of um, what needs to really be a difference maker for me is that I am very tempted to get in a Mac Studio base model, but something about using desktop, I have a very, 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 very specific requirement when it comes to PCI Express support. So I'm not going to get it for that. I'm going to look at the Mac Pro, see what they're going to do, and see what they're going to do about PCI Express bandwidth and PCI Express support, because I've got capture card devices, from Elgato, that I like to use when I'm setting up 4 camera streams, 4 camera recordings, and other different stuff. And it's just something to consider. But let me jump in and say that stay hydrated, stay safe. I haven't even got my water with me, Jimmy, man. But thank you so much for the £10 super chat, man. I really, really appreciate it. It says enjoy the rest of your stay in Canada. Yeah, so I'm flying back out next week, Monday. I've got one more week here, but I will be back in July, then come back again. It's been it's been a great stay, and I really appreciate your direct support and direct donation. Jimmy, you are one of the one of the greatest supporters when it comes to the channel, when it comes to the live shows, and obviously watching the content and direct donations and stuff, which I really appreciate. It means the world to me, and it's what motivates me. I always say that even when I'm out on a go, I'm still trying to make sure that I'm maintaining some form of high production quality, high level of engagement with you all as we go through the motions. So, it may not look as good as it would be in my normal recording studio in UK, but I'm setting up base here. I'm going to get the same lights, get the same equipment, and really push to bring it as close to that, if not even better, because there's just a lot more space to work with right now, which I'm really enjoying. So we are streaming in 4K UHD. Hopefully the sound is of a quality that you are happy with. I've heard none of you complain about it, which I'm really glad. And I think that's pretty much it, man. But Jimmy, thank you so much. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your stay in Canada. Thank you for the £10 super chat. Shout out to you and Technically T for really supporting when it comes to the super chats as well, man. It does mean the world to me. Maybe it helps you stay in the future. Yes. Same tech YouTube. Some tech YouTubers don't know. My pleasure. Anytime. Thank you. It shouldn't be doing that. If you're just sending a picture to someone else, there shouldn't be any reason for it to duplicate. Um, will you be live next Monday or Tuesday? Probably Wednesday, because obviously I'm going to be traveling on Monday. My flight is on Monday, and I arrive back in London on Tuesday. So yeah, yeah, that'll be the situation. That'll be the situation. That'll be the situation. But yeah, I don't think I have much more in terms of my thoughts and opinions on WWDC 2022. It was a great event. Key highlight definitely is hardware. I much prefer hardware over software, me personally. It's an interesting place, and it's going to be an interesting look on how the acquisition will look on the M2 MacBook Air, and where maybe that just might boost up the M1 Air sales even more and make that even more popular, because £250 as a difference is a lot. $200 is a lot. The difference this time around is a decent amount gap. And the gains, although great, don't get me wrong, isn't really something that warrants it being an M2. It's an M1X in a sense, as a stopgap device. I wish the MacBook Air found a way to keep its wedge style design, that has just been so synonymous and iconic with it, um, rather than it being a 14-inch MacBook Pro Lite, effectively, in terms of the design, which Siren said perfectly. I'll do my video thoughts on the 13-inch MacBook Pro and why it's in a very strange place. It makes almost no sense, but yet at the same time, that is the chassis that's going to give you the best sustained and maximum performance out of the M2 over a prolonged period of time. And we'll wait for test and benchmarks to see how that looks like. But it's just a very interesting place for it to be. It's in a very interesting place. So I don't know when they're going to be deploying it, but they said available next month. What time next month? Is it just, not this week, but a week after? It's going to be an interesting one. But that's a wrap for me, people. So, yeah, let's just have a chat in the comments. Drop me any questions, your thoughts, your opinions, and I'll do my best to answer them. Go look bang. See you soon in London. What's good, Zaib? What's good, man? Hope back home is treating you nice as well. Hope back home he is treating you nice as well. Thanks for joining the stream, man. Hope you're well, bro. Hope you are doing good and you are keeping safe. Not jet lag then. Ah, man, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, I suffer jet lag bad. That's the problem. We'll see. See Tech here in the house. Yes. Telosive Tech right now is trying out. I don't really watch Telosive Tech, to be fair. Sorry to say. Glad to see you're able to tune in. Glad to be able to tune into another stream. Yes, we are streaming live from Canada. We are in Canada at this time, people, in the province of Saskatchewan. Very, 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 very nice. Very nice. It's been a great, just being here for slightly over 2 weeks now, and it's been good. I've got one more full week, including today. Um, it's been a good one. I've needed this. I've needed this vacation break, catch up with family. Had a great time with family yesterday that came over. So much, so many different stuff, so many different stuff. So I feel blessed. I feel blessed. I feel blessed. But the next thing is that I will be coming here more regularly. So I need to make sure this room gets fully transformed. So it's not going to be the portable lights. I'm going to use the proper studio lights, get some sandbags, get another C stand. Yeah, I'm going to be going all out. I'm going to be going all out, which should be very interesting. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. It's been fun. Probably mid July, presumably. Yes. You need to buy a high refresh rate monitor. Dude, technically, I've got a 4K 120 hertz monitor, my LG C1 TV that I use as well. So I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush at all. Yes, thank you very much for the stream. It's been brilliant. Been missing these streams a lot, and I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man. I thoroughly enjoy live streaming as well. I enjoy live streaming, even if it's just for an hour. I enjoy live streaming. Live streaming is a lot of fun, and I get to have like a direct audience and engagement with you all, especially when you're dropping your comments and I pop it up on the screen. You know, it's nice. It's more relaxed. It's more fun, and I really do enjoy doing it, man. So thank you. I'm good, Jimmy. Hope you're fine too. Yes, good to hear. Where are you in Canada? In the province of Saskatchewan. That's why I am. The province of Saskatchewan. I'm doing great. Thanks. Glad to hear that you're doing great too. Love to see the engagement in the chat. Appreciate you, Zaib, for coming through and engaging with the audience. Really appreciate it. And thank you for the consistent 10 to 11 concurrent viewers that have been on this live stream. I really, really appreciate you all. Hope the live stream is still being at least 90% of the quality that you would get in studio. Again, I can't do multi-camera here at the moment because I don't have my desktop that has the Camlink Pro PCI Express that puts it in there and really does that job really well. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. WWDC Worldwide Developer Conference 2022, 2-hour event, 2 new pieces of hardware, lots on software when it comes to iOS 16 with lock screen. Obviously, we didn't talk much about macOS Ventura, which I'm still getting used to macOS and all the benefits and how macOS behaves, but it's been okay. I'm gonna draft out my first impressions video. Hopefully, have a sponsor in there, and I'll really let my thoughts know on, as a Windows user, finally having my first MacBook Pro and macOS device in general. How has it really been? And I'll be honest with you, this 14-inch MacBook Pro base model has just been such a game changer in how I calibrate and do work, that even now that I'm using it the way I'm using it now, which I did not expect it to do well in, as something I thought this was only going to be good for Windows PCs and laptops, live streaming via OBS in 4K, the fact that it can do this, and I've tested it where it can record in 4K at the same time at high quality. Yeah, this is impressive. This is impressive. I'm thoroughly impressed, and we'll talk more about it in terms of where it's positioned and placed. Let's see. Studio display LG monitor. LG, if you have LG, I don't know. I've seen the studio monitor, and the studio monitor is nice. I just don't like the fact that it doesn't have an OSD. It doesn't have an on-screen display. It doesn't have a power button. I get the whole seamless. I don't know. It is nice. It is nice, and it's a true 5K display, and I guess the LG one is as well. But I don't know. It's hard to say. You know, the only real benefit is the fact it's a 27-inch true 5120 by 2880 5K display. It's not a 5K 2K display or 5K QHD 1440p display. It is a true 5K display with excellent macOS scaling. So it's a weird one. It's a weird one. Also, need to buy an iCloth. Oh, I missed the stream. Yes, we are pretty much on the last 5 minutes. Sup. How good is the LG C1? I was wondering, getting one to preview final. Yeah. C1 next to this MacBook Pro is probably the best investment I've made. Like, I love that LG C1. The LG C1 48-inch is excellent, and I love it. If you ever get a chance to come into the studio, Matty, like, you see, it's just brilliant. It's just brilliant. I love the C1, and it is literally like the best gaming TV to use for your Series X, as well as especially your PS5. More for the Series X, because the Series X has, a lot more features when it comes to like Dolby Vision HDR, which the PlayStation 5 doesn't support Dolby Vision HDR. It's only HDR10 and HLG, which isn't bad. I mean, games like Ratchet and Clank look absolutely brilliant in HDR10, and obviously you get better VRR support when it comes to the Series X as well. How do you spell the province that you're located in? I don't know. It's SAS, Saskatchewan. I can't spell it. It's been epic, man. Don't worry. What's your thoughts on iPad OS 16? Um, Again, I pretty much stated in terms of it is its own thing. You know, we just have to accept iPads and iPad OS as their own thing in a way, right? I've got to go, my friend. Have a nice night. Yes, we're going to be wrapping up soon. You have a great night, Damien. Thank you for coming through, man. Long time. Hey, man. Sorry I couldn't be there. Loving the stream, my guy. Appreciate you, Ryan. Thanks for coming through anyway. Literally on the last 5 minutes or so. Thank you so much for coming through. Good night, Damien. Hey, Ryan Thomas. Yes. How are you doing? Ryan should be doing great. Appreciate it. I'm glad you found your capture card. That's pretty much it for the Tech and Chill live show. Hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. Getting into the flow of things as it is, not because of maybe being a little bit sluggish after such a very, very fun night that we had last night with family. I met all the next generation family members, like all my nieces and nephews. It was so nice. It was so nice, and we just boogied, ate, chilled. It's been really refreshing being here, and I'm gonna be here more often, as well as being in UK. So it's gonna be one of those ones that's gonna be a very, very interesting one, and I'm gonna be building to make sure, like, the production is a lot higher in this area, so that when I travel and come, that we're in a good place. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We're gonna be signing out. Hope you're all safe during this time, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.